Going for boost over. Well, I think going for boost if you're a boost merchant, like someone like AJ or someone, you go for boost.
100% of the time.
Yes.
Always, every second of every game, ball's going in your net, don't worry about it. Go get the boost and make sure you've got the full 100 to celebrate with the other team.
Boost over ball is a good time when your opponent is dribbling towards your own corner and you know it has no threat to go into your net at all, and your teammate is behind you for sure. If all of those align, it's better to just take your corner boost, let him just dribble into the wall for useless, and force him to go back with 0. That would be a better time to take boost over ball.
If you've ever wondered when the best time to go boost over ball is, you've come to the right place. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Boost Over Ball podcast. On the road today in San Diego as we prepare for the Winter Major to be open for the public tomorrow and the rest of the weekend. I'm Kyle, as always, and with me I got a special guest in front of the podcast.
Yeah, is it me? My turn?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, you get it. It's my name's iAtomic, Michael Garrido. I'm the sponsorship activations manager at Team Axel, Beasley, Houston Outlaws, all three. big conjunction there.
Big esports guy.
Big esports guy, right? I used to do a lot of casting in like the bubble scene, and then I did a lot of managing. I've done talent management, most notably for I forget what it is now, tactical banditry. All that stuff. So I've been around the block in the Rocket League scene. It's where I started, and I'm kind of in this Team Axel Houston Outlaws position now, all because of that. So
yeah, that's awesome. But thanks for joining me tonight. We're recapping the first day and group stages rounds 1 and 2 from the Winter Major.
Word, yeah. I mean, this Winter Major's gotten some pretty big games. A lot of games went the way you expect, but there, a few of them didn't really.
Yeah, and with that being said, let's just jump right in, right? So I can't even imagine what if this event was open to the public today, what the crowd would have reacted to FaZe losing to G1 in round 1. I mean, we're an hour and 20 minutes from the FaZe headquarters, right? It's got to be pro FaZe.
Yeah. And I just want to mention that 3-2 G1 versus FaZe. I mean, G1 had a watch party. Obviously, I wasn't there because I'm not exactly in San Diego now. But man, I cannot believe how hype that crowd was going there, wherever it was. I'm pretty sure they also had an open bar at this G1 little party event, and to be beating FaZe in their first LAN appearance. Had to be something just magical. I mean, I think. Oh, I want to mention as well. They tweeted on their socials. G1 did, and it was the owner of G1 had lost $5,000 or so from the FaZe stock and said, "I want my money back."
Yeah, I mean, we've been fortunate enough. We interviewed G1 Cat Jeans. She's the GM of the Rocket League team of G1, so I know that she's here in San Diego at the watch party with everyone. But I can't even imagine how insane that would have been. But I mean, to go from a tiebreaker in Europe as sneaking in as the last seed to beating the number 1 seed in NA, that's not something that I really saw happening. But I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand, and we'll talk about it more as we go into some of the other groups. But I think you're kind of starting to see that EU is maybe a little bit superior in some instances to NA. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, maybe. You know what? What I will say is I did a difference here is that all 3 of the players on the G1 squad, they are from Spain. I have I'm 50% Spanish from my father, and I just got to say, you know what? I just think it was a Spanish difference. No Europe behind it, no none of that. Just marked by 8, Dorito. I'm dating myself now. Just doing absolutely phenomenal today. So I'm gonna go ahead and find out the last one more moment. Atomic. Oh my gosh, of course, the man of the day, like the man that did everything today.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I that was a fantastic series to watch. You kind of see, G1 jump out 2-0 early, and FaZe are able to fight their way back. I was almost kind of expecting a reverse sweep, and then G1 just like really stepped on that gas in Game 5 and put it out of reach.
Yeah. And so I think we have the next matchup here from Group B, or did we finish this round A, Group A?
I'll do a quick G2 sweep crew, FaZe sweep crew, and then G1 takes a Game 5 thriller against G1 to stay top of the group with 2 wins. So they've put themselves in a really good spot tomorrow. But that G2's got to play FaZe. That's going to be a awesome series. That's going to determine potentially top spot in the group.
Yeah, true. I mean, I'm pretty sure Crew Esports have absolutely no way of coming out of it, right? Like I think that's verified.
Yes.
So it is a battle of the mid, right? Who's going to come out second and third? G2, I guess, do have a chance of going lower too as well with that match. So
actually, technically, G1 plays. No, they've taken more games. Yeah, no, they're eliminated pretty much.
Yeah. So. Bit unfortunate, I do love the Crew. I will say, what I was in Worlds, Crew Esports were inches away of beating FaZe before AJ called a tech pause, and everyone there, the whole vibe was, FaZe Clan the frauds, dude, get them out of here. They should have been out in groups. Crew Esports swept them, dude. Get out of here. So a bit unfortunate that they're at the bottom here with absolutely no way to kind of service back up, but it is the way that the cookie crumbles.
Yeah. And then speaking of another team that's virtually been eliminated in Group B, Dignitas. They take a sweep against Carmine Corp, and they take a second loss 3-1 to Vitality.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate, honestly, from Dignitas. I do I really like that team. I think that team has just so much potential. I mean, Andy competing for the first time, not for the first time in a LAN, but I think this is the first time he's at RLCS sponsored LAN. I could be completely wrong. I think, but he almost kind of feels like a veteran too. Like he's taking it on the chin. He's taking this as experience. The next time Dignitas are back, they're going to do very, very well, or at least they're going to be competitive. They didn't really feel competitive, but to be fair, they're going up against Vitality and Falcons. I'm sorry, not Falcons, KC Carmine Corp, and they have yet to reach the Falcons, but the Falcons also are second in the group right now, so I don't know. I have a lot of hope for Dignitas next time they come back around, and I think they will.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful that they will kind of use this as a learning experience, but for me coming into the major, they just didn't do enough for me to think that they weren't going to get eliminated, right? They needed to win one series in the playoff, in playoffs to solidify their spot in Worlds, and they couldn't do it. So, they tripped and fell into a major spot because of previous performances.
Yeah, there was this whole thing where they didn't really have they didn't really control their own destiny, which is a bit unfortunate, right? I think they had the chance to if they won the certain match and they didn't win it, so then they had to get a bunch of people to lose, and that happened. So then they kind of fell in. You're right. So, but I think one person, an anomaly on that Dignitas squad, someone that I just think is blowing everyone out of the water that doesn't really get enough recognition, is Dries. I've always loved Dries. I think Dries has been a great teammate for anyone. He's kind of had an unfortunate career after the G2 split. I kind of want to know your opinion on that.
Yeah, I mean, Dries just won recently too, a 1v1 showcase in the run up to the major event here. He looked good on G2. I liked G2 not keeping Dries. I think Dries is a good player. I just didn't think it was the best fit for G2, just the play style that they have, because the kind of role that he plays or wants to play on a team is similar to the role that JNaps plays. So it's a similar situation in my opinion to LJ on Space Station, with Daniel and Arsenal, right? So LJ can't go do LJ things because the other two exist. So Dries being able to play with Evo and Andy have really kind of unlocked him, in my opinion, to go out and be the star level player that we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
But I think it's just going to be more experience for them being at an international event, trying to, do everything that they can to get a win here on Falcons. I mean, they're not gonna make it out just because of the game differential, but Yeah, I think that we said earlier Falcons is probably one of the biggest dark horses in this tournament, and I think that still reigns true, especially after a reverse sweep against Vitality.
Yeah, and I guess we'll talk about Vitality next. I mean, it's the elephant in the room, right? They have that super sub that just is still locked from RLCS. You know, he's not he's being chained up, and you know the keys are coming a bit too close to the locks, right? I don't know, that doesn't make any sense, but
It's
Vitality.
Like the meme, the you know, everything's on fire, and it's Sazin and Radosin sitting in the room. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Like I just don't know how you're expected to perform at the highest level of Rocket League, knowing that you're gonna get one of you are gonna get dropped. Like it's already been decided. Like Zen is the golden boy. He's the chosen one for Vitality. So someone's getting dropped, and it's not Alpha.
Yeah. So from what I hear or what I understand, I think it was the Oxygen boys. They were on that Rizzo side stream, and they were talking about it. And I think what's his name? Hold on, I'm gonna figure it out real quick. Oh, it was Archie. There we go. So Archie was kind of like talking about it. He was like, from what this is a big tale of like telephone, but what they have told Rise when he was trying out at some point, sometime, and what Rise has told Archie is that whoever they want to pick, they can pick. That being, remind me the player for
Radosin or Sison?
Yeah, like basically, yeah. So if Zen decides I want Alpha, it's whoever Alpha picks after that. Alpha will then pick his protege, right? And then that third who just does not get word will not be on the team anymore. And I think it's just absolutely ridiculous, right? Like Vitality have absolutely given this 16-year-old the power of their entire team and are going to build around him, much like the FaZe clan with First Killer, right? First Killer, there's already, it happens every time First Killer plays. The meme has surfaced, all right? It's a picture of First Killer from the media day, and it says, man, I'm going to be kicking X teammate right now. it's amazing how fast they are with it. Shout out GC in disguise.
Yeah,
and Asper and all them.
It's crazy, but like in my opinion, it goes back to like the whole like Optic Gaming and version 1 thing, right? So like version 1 is a big organization that's missing from the NA major this weekend. I mean, it's rumored that they're going to make a big roster move, dropping Torment for Beast Mode, but you know, hasn't been confirmed because the roster window isn't officially open yet. But like, you
correct,
know, to drop Com and then at the last second to not drop Com, and then since Com doesn't go, then Optic doesn't drop Magic Bear for Com. Like, I feel like it'd be so hard to perform knowing that like you were literally like hours away from being dropped.
Yeah, I mean, look at V1, right? Like they you know, were hinting at a change. They are almost confirmed having another change, but this time even with that small change, they weren't exactly looking for a change after. It's a bunch of, you know, he said, she said, whatever. But you know, they didn't make it to the major, and that very much upsets V1 as a team. I think Beast Mode, you know, he, as much as he's either been told that he's good enough, or I mean, honestly, he is good enough. I think he's the number one person to go against friggin', oh my gosh, Vatira, right? I think if anyone's going to be able to go against Vatira, it's going to be Beast Mode, in my opinion, right? I mean, you can say Dan, you can say First Killer, you can say Chronic or Noli or apparently Jack or whatever. I really do think that he is the chosen one to go against him, and it's a bit unfortunate he's not at the major.
Yeah, I mean, he like the V1 offense in this split has kind of just been like, you know, play good defense and then have Beast Mode do a Beast Mode thing and, you know, get us the win. And like, you know, to their credit, it didn't work as well as it has in previous splits, but it wasn't the worst. It like they did better than a lot of teams. So, you know, I think that it's got to weigh a little bit on your mental, but then like you talk about you know, it was going to be Calm and now it's Torment. It's like, you know, just such a vast swing. So like, you know, how do you feel if you're Calm? But I can't even imagine what like the amount of pressure that the Vitality boys are under. So, you know, that reverse sweep to Falcons is probably like soul crushing.
Yeah. It just has to be.
I think they're a little bit, if they go 3-2 against Dignitas, I think that's, they're panicking a little bit, but, they're able to right the ship and they take Dignitas out. But looking at Group C, the group of life, Team Secret, Team Liquid, they take care of business. They 3-0 both rounds as expected. They both looked fantastic. Team Liquid looked like they were, playing with their food a little bit a couple times in the Game of Gladiators series, but they don't drop a game. They put up like 20 something goals in their 3 matches. It was like 6-7-4, I think. It's like they looked really impressive, and then really it kind of sets up. Ground Zero versus Game and Gladiators. Winner advances, loser goes home.
Yeah, I love the diversity, right, coming in from different regions and the ability to do that, right. Gaming Gladiators and Ground Zero both coming in from different regions respectively, and it's a bit unfortunate in my opinion to have those teams, like both of them in Group C. I don't really understand how that format has worked in that way. I think what Team Liquid is, what rank seed? He's number 2, right?
Yeah, they're 2 in EU. Secret's 1 in SAM.
Yeah. So I mean, like, how is it? In again, this is just me kind of spitballing. Like, I don't really see how it is that Ground Zero and Gaming Gladiators are both in the same group as like Team Liquid and Team Secret, but I also kind of see it as like, where else would you put them? So, there's going to be somewhere that's a little bit easier of a ride for like a Team Liquid and a Team Secret. But I mean, good on. I mean, I can't wait for that match. I mean, there's really only one. Well, there's 2 matches to talk about, right? And there's only 2 matches tomorrow for round 3. It's the Gladiators versus Ground Zero, Team Secret versus Team Liquid. Kind of funny. It's team versus like GG. Yeah. But I mean, like, obviously, like, whoever wins those 2 matches is going to be either top their group or be alive, right, for those 2 games, and then the pieces are going to kind of fall into place. So personally, I kind of have that Ground Zero edge on it. I think that Ground Zero, just after making that roster move and how hype I can see them playing in their OCE region. I mean, I think every time they win a LAN, they peak their mics at the highest volume. They just keep it there for 5 seconds. I think it's banana head. And it's great to see. Or sorry, super lucky. My bad. No, super lucky.
Like I still like that roster move still baffles me from Pioneers, right? Like, you drop Super Lucky and then you lose to Super Lucky twice in 2 and 3 regionals. And like I'm like, that was an F tier move. Like, you got objectively worse.
I mean, they got worse, but like in reality, like, they fixed that team's mental, right? Because that's what matters at the end of the day. Is Pioneers still found a way to actually, like, as much as you want to say like they dropped a player and then they lost to that player twice, that team is still better than what it was with that player on it. I fully do believe that. I don't know what happened between those 3 internally, and obviously no one will ever know, because why would you share that? But Ground Zero, obviously, they kind of took a chance on 2 young players along with their pickup of Super Lucky, and it worked out. He's named after my favorite soccer player, Kaká, so
yeah,
I'm looking out for that guy.
Yeah. But and then we'll talk about a little bit about Pioneers here. Jumping on to Group D, they get swept by Gen G. They get swept by Oxygen. They're they're gonna. I think that they will in all likelihood be eliminated here, unless they get a sweep on. It's going to be Oxygen.
I mean, I don't see a harder group for a team from a developing region to compete in. I mean, Gen G, Oxygen, Complexity beat Gen G, which was the, I think, 2nd seed, almost was the 1st seed in North America until very recently, won the last major. Oxygen Esports also have won, I believe, wasn't with Rise, but have won the European event. And then you have Complexity Gaming that just stomped on both of them like they were nothing. I mean, what is KCP to do?
Yeah, no.
Are they an ant in like a human world? I don't know. Like, that's crazy. Like, they are just so unlucky. Unfortunately, they're not in the Ground Zero position where they have Gaming Gladiators in the group. I'll say it, right?
So like, having Gaming Gladiators and Ground Zero in a group allows one minor region to make it to the playoffs. Yeah, like that's really all that it ends up being, right? So because you look at like Group A, right? It's going to be Crew that goes down. If you look at Group B, it's a Falcons. I don't know if you can really call Falcons a minor region. Like, MENA is like more of a minor region. Yeah, Falcons has like proven that they can compete on the world stage.
Yeah.
But like, you know, I really think that like Game of Gladiators is not gonna, like, Ground Zero is gonna win. I don't know if they'll be like, you know, if Game of Gladiators will be able to take a match, then, you know, then they did better than Elevate at the last major. But, you know, I don't think KCP takes, I don't think that they take a game against Complexity.
Yeah, and I want to add, right? Like, I mean, just imagine last season, like at the beginning of last season, Team Secret was a laughable team. Team Falcons was a wild card, but everyone thought they were laughable at the time. Crew Esports, like the players that are on it, absolutely no one thought that they would get into anywhere near like a out of like not a developing region anymore. But now South America, you know, MENA, and honestly, at this point, like at this rate, OCE is going to have a powerhouse like Ground Zero or Pioneers. Like one of them is going to shape up. You can already see how much the Pioneers hate losing at these events. They're tweeting right after they lose. They're like, man, there is just absolutely zero words for me and how this feels when I lose at these events. And so eventually that is just going to turn into obsession. These guys are going to grind. They're going to do training packs for all day long for 24 hours a day. And they're going to come back and they're going to finally take away a game against a Complexity or a Liquid or a Carmi Corp, something like that one of these days.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it's great to see for the growth of the esport. It's great to see for the growth of their individual regions. Like, I mean, I know like Game and Gladiators boot camped for 2 weeks in Michigan at a facility that JamesBot, you know, offered to them. But, you know, like that, just being in the ecosystem here, being able to, you know, queue ranked against, you know, pro players here, against, you know, shorter queue times, better ping, stuff like that, because, you know, the access to more servers, just being in a more major region, I'm sure it's done wonders for them. So Complexity have locked up first seed in this group. I also heard they were talking about it on the broadcast, and it did show up, especially in that Complexity Gen G series. But Gen G is the most demoed team heading into this major. They take on average 4 demos a game.
What team was this again? Sorry, you said Gen G.
Gen G takes the most demos.
You know, evade, jump.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Like that Gen G Complexity series was almost starting to look like the V1 NRG series, where Com had like 20 something demos.
I was gonna say, you know, what's another team that was on the rise to glory and then got demoed a lot and then fell off? It was NRG, right? So, yeah. You know, Gen G, I feel like they're adaptable. They obviously know how good they are and what they're gonna do. You know, I think at the time, NRG at the time did not make the right moves to stay on top. So now they've kind of fallen off a bit. I think that just now they've realized how much it hurts and they're grinding the way they were when they were world champions. But there was a period of time where I think they weren't, you know, hopefully, and I know that'll change, but Gen G, you know, let's not let that happen. You know, it sucks as a fantasy.
Yeah. You're the reigning major champion. So, you know, they're going to try and do everything that they can to defend their title. So I'm very interested to see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow will be round 3 of the group stages and round 1 of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So looking back on all the groups, if you had to guess who you think is going to win and who you think is going to be eliminated from each group, you know, obviously except for, you know, Group D, because that's already been decided. But what do you think?
Oh, okay. I'll save my spiciest for last. Okay, we'll go with Group D. Obviously, Complexity are winning and Pioneers are out. I think that the Oxygen versus Gen G Mobile Racing, Mobile One Racing, sorry, their sponsorship team would get on me for that, as I would for them. I mean, look at it, right? Because Oxygen, last time Gen G and Oxygen have faced, obviously it was not with Rise, it was with the other. I can't remember his name. Oxygen 3-0 Gen G. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Oli, right? And with Oli, they 3-0 Gen G. I think they have only improved with Rise, right? And obviously Gen G are a bit more established. They moved to NA. They now have like permanent residence, I believe, for all 3 players. I think all 2 of them are now living in, I think, Austin, Texas. I think they're actually rooming with Arsenal. And with that information, right, like they are a bit more established now that whenever they go back, they have a place to go home, not just like the Shopify Rebellion facilities in Canada. So with Oxygen, you know, that's a bit scary, but you also have like, you've already beat them with Oli, and now you've kind of gone up with Rise. I don't know. I think honestly, Joreus is Gen G's kryptonite. There's a big storyline there, but I think Oxygen will take it at the end of the day. They're just a more experienced team, and they are the ones that are more hungry for it. So I think it'll also benefit them for that. I kind of want to move. Or what thoughts do you have on that, especially with the two measures going in there?
So I mean, this is going to be an interesting outcome, right? So like finishing second versus finishing third in your group is going to be it's a big deal.
The world.
Yeah. So like, you know, second place in group D will play the first place from group. So it's going to play either Team Liquid or Team Secret. Whereas if you finish third place, you're playing Carmine Corp.
All right, yeah, I didn't really realize that. You're right.
if you win your you know your round one matchup against, you know, the team that comes with, but like, you know, that potentially speaking, I mean, Carmine Corp has been, you know, their own monster altogether, where, you know, I don't know that really anybody's going to beat them, but you know, I mean, quarterfinals and round one are a big difference in terms of prize money, in terms of world championship points for the end of the year, in terms of being able to play in front of the crowd for longer. I mean, it's like, you can't discount the experience that comes with that. So like being able to avoid like someone like Carmine Corp for as long as possible is going to be very, very big. And I'm sure it's on like the front of a lot of people's minds.
Yeah, and you know, I didn't actually realize this, but the coach for Oxygen is Billy, and Billy used to be the coach of Semper Esports, but has also tried being. This is something I just found out right now. He was also a streamer, so he's worn many hats in the esports scene. He seems to be very well versed in esports, and I think, you know, it's very hard to break a coach like that. But I mean, look at what Gen G have, right? They have the X-FaZe clan member kicked by the FK himself, Illusion. And you know, so sorry, that's just not a good title to have, but it's so funny. And with Illusion on your team as your coach, I mean, how do you, I don't know, like, how do you lose, right? Like, I feel like that guy, he's just got such a brain about the game. So it really also is just a battle of the coaches, in my opinion, not just the players.
Yeah. And then moving on to Group C, you know, we have probably the two biggest matchups tomorrow are Team Secret, Team Liquid, and Gen G Oxygen, for different reasons, right? You're deciding first and second seed in Group C versus, you know, second and third. I personally think Team Liquid take that one. I think that I really like their play style. I like the mechanical ability from all three players. I think Xpair, their coach, has done a fantastic job kind of being a calming influence, and I think this is going to be a major that Team Liquid will make a deep run in.
Yeah, hold on. Andre Felipe de Jesus Roveno Costa. That's his name. I just looked it up. It's Xpear.
Yep.
Yeah, no, Team Liquid are the team, or it's their game to lose, right? I don't think that Team Secret really have a chance against a Team Liquid. I mean, as a SAM player, like, by the way, coaches love SAM players. I don't know what it is. I mean, you put Sad Knight and KV1 in a like a tryout for any NA team, they probably make that team. I don't care what team it is. As long as they have a pretty respectable coach, the coach is going to be like, I want him. I can train him. I will teach him English. Like, it doesn't matter. So Team Circuit, obviously, like, they play a pretty good meta. Like, they're very fast, strategic as well. Like, at the same time, it's very broken. But to go against Team Liquid, I think that are the same thing, but also patient. You mix all three of those things, like the trifecta of Rocket League, and they're all like, what, 16, 17? I mean, Christ, like, whatever, dude. Team Secret or Team Liquid, it's hard to choose, but I really do think Team Liquid have the edge over it.
Okay. And then we've both already talked about it, and I think we both agree that Gaming Gladiators are the team that get eliminated out of Group C.
I feel like, I think those guys are, I mean, at the exception of OSM, those guys are GC3 respectively. Like, I understand, you know, they're trying their best or whatever, but I mean, did they beat Ground Zero? I think Ground Zero are just a better team. Now, I could be completely wrong. I hope I'm wrong, you know, but I do think that if Gaming Gladiators come to enough lands and keep losing the same way KCB has, and, you know, it obviously hurts them because they want to be able to compete and be competitive, then, you know, when they come back the next time, they'll be 10 times better. I trust me, I will see it time and time again. So
yeah, I don't doubt it.
Yeah, Ground Zero.
Okay, and then Group B. I mean, I think technically.
Oh, can we save it for last?
Yeah. Okay, let's do
Sure.
Group A then.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? G1 and crew, right? This is the battle of what? Brazil and Spain. Well, I mean, you know, I have to take my guys Spain. Plus, they beat FaZe yesterday. Like, what can't they do? You know. So
Yeah, for sure.
they did what Crew couldn't, and then FaZe Clan versus G2. Actually, this is another spicy take of mine. I don't think G2 are that great like anymore. I don't know. I love Chicago. I love Atomic, but man, I mean, you know, I think JNaps is checked out. Love the guy. I think he's a go to the game, but man, I don't know how much more fight he has in him. I don't think he knows how much fight he has in him. So I could be wrong. You know, I would love to be proved wrong, but I really do think FaZe just takes over G2, and G2 can't do anything about it.
Interesting. I mean, like at the World Championships, we saw it firsthand, right? G2 looked like the best team in the tournament until the grand finals. And I did kind of an in-depth dive on their run. They didn't play a single EU team until the grand finals.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So
that makes me really happy, like to know that, like, you know, there's still a way to scamaz yourself to the World Championships. I can play. No, I'm kidding, but man, like, I feel like there's no way you should have not played a European team all the way up to the grand final of.
They
of
played one SAM team, Worlds. And the rest was NA.
That's crazy.
I don't know how it worked out for him like that, but I mean, that just goes like G2 has a lot of trouble when teams challenge them quick in the midfield, and I think that's what First Killer does really well, and I think that's why EU has been so dominant. Their midfield challenge game is much better than NA. They're able to turn the counterattacks better, and they're able to put more shots on goal. And G2, while they can have suffocating offensive pressure, sometimes they forget to shoot the ball, and all of a sudden you have a long, clear goal. So midfield challenges on infield passing, which G2 loves to do, I think will be their downfall.
Yeah, I kind of want to add, actually, like, if it kind of depends as well. Like, cause we can see two different versions of FaZe, and everyone will say that, but I mean, this is the reality of it. If their mentality is like they're in the zone, they're winning. There's absolutely no ifs, ands, or buts. But if First Killer and you know his two teammates are sitting there, and one of them is in a bit of a distraught mood, G2 with their passing ability, you know, credit to JNaps, right? You know, I was just dogging on him, but now I'm going to lift him back up. He has the best passing of the game. He's got the best mind to give it right up to Chicago and Atomic, the machine.
Yeah.
and you know, he can pass that ball all day long, and he'll be able to shoot it too. And if FaZe have one member just saying, maybe I'm just going to be sad for right now, G2 will take it. But you know, I really don't think that FaZe Clan would let themselves do that. At least not with Rold is in their team. Just, you know, obviously in their ear, hyping them up, being a coach, doing all the good stuff that FaZe need.
Yeah, for sure. And then last but not least, Group B. Yeah.
So, you know, there's two. I have the two hot takes. So, you know, I do think that KC, we're gonna go at the bottom here. KC, obviously our favorite to win. I think Vitality will have a bigger fight. In my opinion, it's actually even more 50-50 than most people may or may not believe. You might not believe, but I do think that Vitality have a fighting chance to beat KC here. I think that those three teams, you know, those three players, they are up against the wall. They're under pressure. They want to compete. They don't want to get kicked. So show who's boss, man. You know, play that individual play style. Beat KC at all costs. Everything that you need to do. And then obviously Falcons take Dignitas. But the reason why I say this group for last is because what I wanted to say about Falcons versus Dignitas was not only will Falcons beat Dignitas, but Falcons will beat the next team and the next team and the next team. And I think Falcons are winning this major. I'm saying it here. I love that team. It's just I love their story. I love everything about it. RLCS, whenever they made that one Worlds like little video, you know. They won my heart. So I want Falcons to win so bad at everything that they do.
I mean, I think it would be good for Rocket League as well. So, I mean, they looked good against Vitality. They did not look very good against Carmine Corp. But, hey, I mean, there's not a lot of teams that do look good against Carmine Corp.
They don't.
But, you know, maybe it's a learning experience that hopefully will, you know, bounce back. They get a little bit weaker of an opponent than Carmine Corp and Dignitas to kind of hopefully try to ramp up. But I agree with you. I think Carmine Corp, even with losing one of them, if Vitality beats Carmine Corp and if it's close, then Carmine Corp take the group. But I think Dignitas is going to be eliminated here as well.
Yeah, and I think about it, right? Because Group B, first place, goes on the bottom side of the playoff bracket tomorrow, and Group B, second place, goes on the top side. No matter what happens, if I really do think that if Falcons, they kind of start balling out. Man, wouldn't it be so cool to see Falcons beat KC in the grand final? Because that's the only chance that they would ever meet again, right? In this, so it would just be the story of all stories. And obviously, if KC win, well, the script was run out and all that good stuff. Whatever.
Yeah, but I can't wait for some more Rocket League tomorrow. I think we're in for some great games. I think G2 FaZe is going to be great. I think Liquid Secret's going to be great, and I think Vitality Carmine Corp is going to be fantastic. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And then for different reasons, the Game & Gladiators Ground Zero match will be interesting too. Just to they're both fighting for their playoff lives. So I can't wait to watch those matches tomorrow. And I would really like to thank you for jumping on with me tonight and doing this recap. I enjoyed myself thoroughly.
Yeah, no, I mean, I hope you did too. I mean, I will say that like it's kind of rough to be able to speak esports to people, and I think that you're a perfect candidate of having a thoughtful conversation about the what's happening currently in esports. So congrats to you on that. But also like this podcast is a great outlet to just even kind of release that, right? Because like I will be able to go tomorrow to outside, and if I start talking about RLCS, everyone's gonna think I'm crazy. Like, what the hell is a Team Vitality and a Team Liquid? I mean, Moist Esports? What is that? Like, what are you looking at?
People just don't not everybody shares the same passion and the same understanding or excitement about it. So it's nice to be able to talk to other people that are like-minded in that regard. So thank you.
Yeah, of course.
But as always, I'd like to thank everyone for rating our show on wherever you listen to your podcasts, for following us on Twitter. Please make sure to continue to check out our website. The link will be in the episode description. Come find us at the end at the event at the Major for some free stuff. I think we'll have some keychains, some stickers, and potentially some other stuff. We will be back at you tomorrow night with another episode recapping the day's Rocket League. And as always, remember to choose Boost over Ball. Thank you for listening to the Boost Over Ball podcast.